Hey everybody, what's happening? This review is on the new movie Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie. So the plot of this movie is the four turtles are, doing whatever they do, and then a mysterious stranger from the future, who's Casey Jones, by the way, and here is voiced by Haley Joel Osment. He warns the turtles about an invasion of an alien species, which is the Krang, we all know. And since they never discovered the Krang on the show, they go through time and help Casey and try to stop the invasion and save the world. I had a really fun time with this movie. I think before I should say anything, I should start with what I thought of the show Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I like it. Actually, to prepare for this movie, I did actually watch the entire series, and it's a good show. I know it's pretty divisive among TMNT fans, and I can honestly see why. Because, yeah, it's kind of the thing about it is that yeah, all the turtles kind of have a similar personality. They all kind of have Michelangelo's personality. I mean, yeah, they all were kind of goofy in the '80s one, but like even in the 2012 series, they really emphasized their personalities. How Donatello was smart, Leonardo was the brave leader, Michelangelo was the goofball, and Raphael was angry. Here, they kind of all acted a little goofy, but like it's a comedy show about talking turtles. I mean, I can't really blame them all for acting silly. But and this movie, I think it's a good finale. Uh, it's set after the show because the show ended a couple years ago, and I think it was a worthy finale, and it was good seeing them fight up the Krang. Because one thing I did like about the show is that all the villains were ones were just totally made for the show, like they weren't from any of the comics or other cartoons or anything. Here they actually fight off the Krang, which is an existing villain. So like it was kind of interesting, and as someone who's seen the whole show, there were a lot of Easter eggs and references to some other episodes, which some of you might not get if you haven't seen the series. But if you haven't seen the series, I think it's still a worthy watch, and the animation is pretty good. Like the thing I like about the show, like it has a very unique style. Like it's very kind of comic booky a little bit with kind of angular movements, and they kind of have some kind of really over the top visuals, and I do like that about the show, and it helps with the comedy because it's definitely a more comical version of the group. And I think it definitely works well, even though here it's more action oriented because that's kind of the thing that happened in the later half of the show. It was more action oriented, and I think the action scenes here are really good. And it didn't really feel like that much of a budget was made a change because it did kind of look like an episode of the show, but the scale was still good, and it still definitely felt like the effort was put into there when it came to the action, and it was very fun to watch. And seeing the turtles fight the Krang and all these other creatures again, seeing them just be ninjas, it's a very very fun thing to watch. You like this is a franchise you can't hate. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it's something probably anybody who grew up after the '80s has probably been exposed to at least one thing, and I do like it for that. And the characters, they're all great. They still do kind of act like how they do on the show, but they're still likable enough. Like if you can handle them in the show, I think here they're still really good. They're very likable, and you can tell all the four turtles they care for each other, and that's what I like about them. They feel like a family, which of course they are. And Casey Jones, how was he in this movie? I actually quite liked him. Haley Joel Osment, as I said, played him, and I think he was a pretty good choice. I think for Casey Jones because he's not like a super strong, intimidating guy. Like he's kind of more like the one from the 2012 show. Here, he's kind of younger and kind of more of a tries to be cool. But here, I liked him here, and I think he was a pretty neat addition. And I think it's overall a fun movie. If you have Netflix and if you've seen the show, it's definitely a fun watch. And even if you're just a TMNT fan and haven't seen the show, it's still worth a view. I think you'll have a fun time, and I know I did. So yeah, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles the movie. It's a fun film. It's pretty much what you'd expect from a TMNT movie. Something fun, something funny. Just something a little crazy, but that's what you love about it. And I do really enjoy this movie, and I definitely had a fun time, and I definitely would check it again sometime if I'm ever bored and need something to watch on Netflix. So I really enjoyed it. So I'll catch you later.